Hey guys, my name's Mary Park, and welcome to Approach the Nerd for Arrowverse Tuesday. Oh, we have so much to talk about. I don't normally review 4 Arrowverse shows in one night, but we're going to do it because I didn't get a chance to do it earlier. So, it is what it is. Um, yeah. Also, yes, I know my hair is green. It's my favorite wig. Just roll with it. So I am going to not go in order of airing because normally I would start with the Sunday night shows and then review up to Tuesday night. But I think I'm going to go in order of ones I don't want to spend a lot of time on. So I'm going to talk about The Flash first. Barry Allen has proven to be, as I like to say, the slowest thinking man in all of the Arrowverse. He's not an idiot. It just takes him a lot longer to come to normal conclusions that most people have come to 5 to 10 minutes into the episode. And I say this because this man was seriously about to suggest starting another freaking Flashpoint, which obviously worked out so well for him before. And I love how even when he was talking about it, even Cisco was like, wait, what? Everybody's like, Barry, why? But they follow Barry. They follow Barry's leadership when honestly, at this point, I don't understand why. So in this episode, Barry decides it's a good idea to uncreate the forces. The strength force is already gone. So, we need the Sage and the still force to be next, because he feels if he uninvents these forces, then Nora can't kill them, meaning the humans that are housing these forces will be able to go back to being normal human beings, like Dion and Alexa, because Alexa's dead. Iris immediately thinks that's stupid. He even look on her face like, why would you do that? So he's like, well, I guess we're just in disagreement with this. And to which his response to his wife was like, basically, I'm still going to do it. And, because that's how marriage works, apparently, in the Arrowverse. It's like, we have a disagreement. Instead of having a compromise, I'm going to do me and you're going to get used to it. And then that's just how that is. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. We've also learned that Iris and Barry are the ones that created these forces when they were recreating the Speed Force. When, Iris was sitting there saying, I need you, I need you. So basically they created these children without having sex. These people are awesome. So yeah, they essentially, these forces are their kids. Now there are a lot of side things going on. So Iris wants to find Nora because Nora killed Alexis, and she thinks she can reason with Nora. So this whole I'm going to locate him thing, or locate Nora to prove Barry wrong, is just another point of this episode that's just pointless to me because you can't prove him wrong. It's interesting. It is interesting. So let me get to the side of, I'm just going to speed through this episode. And then if you guys want to have any have questions about it, we'll just do a Q&A, because again, I don't like to nitpick without saying things that I do like. So I do love Cisco and Camilla's relationship. I love how supportive they are of each other. Camilla is getting this opportunity to leave Central City because of her photos being put in an exhibit. Cisco, we already know the actor is leaving. So of course, this is kind of like an olive branch for him to be able to just walk out. So I did love that. I did love that they had to go to timeless Harrison Wells in order to, they basically help Barry with his plan to use this halter and then go back. And then apparently timeless Wells is going to be able to create a time bubble where they can go back through time without actually affecting the timeline in the present. So nothing will change, like Diggle having a baby, girl and then having a baby boy. And, Barry's idea is to step right into the particle, when the particles of the Speed Force are being created. During the particle accelerator experiment or whatever, he's supposed to go in there with a harness and collect all the particles, essentially killing off the forces that that created, even at the expense of him possibly losing his speed, because the Speed Force would be affected as well. So Nora's would be technically, I guess Nora would technically die, even though I don't know. It's interesting. So one thing I will say that I thought was interesting. So there is a scene where they do go back and Timeless Harrison looks right as his self. Like he looks at his past self. I mean, their eyes connect. Does that not mean that they technically did something to affect time? Like if I saw my past self, I'd be like, oh, well, that sucks, or vice versa. I feel like I've just let myself in on a secret, but whatever. I just feel like that would have been a repercussion, but it is what it is. So long story short, Iris has a run-in with Psyche because Cisco makes this like camera lens that can look for, isotopic particles, basically. So they can try and track who is actually a force or, connected to a force or not, or whatever. And he gives it to Camilla because it's kind of sweet. It's basically Cisco's like, I don't want you to die and I want you to be safe. So I made you this detector. And if you see something that has this certain light, you run the other damn way. See, that's perfect. Perfect. But so Iris apparently is filled with this light because, of course, her and Barry created these forces. It's actually very perverted if you think about it. And so they're going to use Iris as a GPS to find Nora, which doesn't work. And then Iris figures out, oh, wait, Nora would just go home. Nora didn't go home because Nora is cray. And when they go to the house, she runs into Psyche. And Psyche gets into all of their heads and starts getting into Iris's head. And this is when we realize that Iris is jealous of Nora. Not the Nora that we see, but Barry's actual mother. Like, Nora's like, you're never going to be the wife and the mother that I am. You may be the lightning rod, but that's it. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, it's so weird. Especially since Supergirl also had a fear factor moment the same night. I think they had the same writing team, but we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, this whole thing of Iris overcoming that, and then, Psyche continuously trying to get in her head and mess her up. And then, of course, Barry starts draining their life force because he's basically uncreating them. And then that allows them to get away. But it's like Barry at the last minute decides he's like crying and stuff. And he's like, I can't do it. And he just throws the particles down. And I'm like, you spent this whole damn episode saying, I'm right. Everybody knows I'm right. You all know I'm right. Whenever Barry has to ask so many people if he's right, that is a clue to him, or it should be, that you are wrong because you're wrong. And he's not right, like hardly ever. So that irritated me. The Dion scene was interesting because Dion showed up and, the Still Force. And I honestly thought Dion was about to whoop his ass. I was down. I was here for it. I'm like, do it. But instead, he's like, you're not going to uncreate me, blah, blah. So he froze, him. And because he'd already froze Cisco and Wells and Chester P. And then he was able to take the harness they were going to use and break it. But they didn't realize that, Chester, my man Chester. And I can't get mad at Chester. I can't. He's just very cool. So he was able to actually take the particle collector thing and, he hit it. So, and that's what they actually need, because the harness is just made out of parts and he can recreate it in his garage. But I do like that Cisco was like, I don't want to do this. I think it's wrong. And Barry's still like, can you fix the harness? I'm like, Barry is ooh. I'm like, Barry wastes so much time not processing information for someone who's supposed to be so effing smart, which is why he is not the fastest man alive. He is the slowest thinking man alive currently in the Arrowverse. That is literally his power. He is like the paragon of love. He is the paragon of slowness. He should be the Still Force because his mind is slow. I'm just putting it out there. I'm sorry. I just really feel this way. I'm probably going to get attacked by people who are really into the Flash, but I cannot help it. Barry Allen is Barry Allen's worst effing enemy. It's just what it is. It drives me crazy. It absolutely drives me crazy. I keep thinking, please bring Wally in here. Since Bart's coming, please don't let him inherit his dad's intellect. I'd rather Bart be more like Joe. Joe came in and was like, we don't judge the children. We let them F up. That's not our job as parents. We do our best and then they take it from there. And he's like, why? River made a point. My spouse is amazing. For somebody who's supposed to be the paragon of love, why does everybody else have to tell him he's the paragon of love? Use love, Barry. Think with love. Do with love. And it's like, even Joe said it tonight. And I'm like, you should know this. I'm like, you're a Care Bear. I don't understand. Care Bears don't kill or uncreate stuff. And they sure as hell don't try and risk starting another Flashpoint. Cisco like up and walked out. And then he was like, good luck. And then he came back. He's like, well, it's dangerous. I don't agree with you, but it's dangerous. So, I'm still behind you. And I'm like, yeah. But I'm telling you, I'm telling you. Oh, the Flash. The Flash. Yeah, I'm not going to spend much time on this. I will say, though, Barry and Iris were able to, they're basically like a phone charger for the forces. They were able to use their fingers combined, like our powers combined, and then touch her legs and zap her back to life. I'm like, I don't know. And the episode ends with Nora being and looking crazy as hell, approaching Dion, and basically she's gonna kill that. She's vibrating her hand like Thawne did. So I don't know. Is she reverse Flash too? I have no idea. Could she be the negative force? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what the hell's happening with Nora. All I know is this show is pissing me off. So there you go. So let's look at some comments real fast because we have 3 other shows to talk about. And I just had to go in order of importance. So let's see here. You may want to ask your fans how many of them actually watch The Flash. Do you watch The Flash? I did. I did ask. You can't reason with I mean, I don't understand. Like, I want to understand what's happening, and I don't understand why Barry Allen is so effing slow. Now, I'm not saying Barry in the comics is any better, but he is better than this. This dude, I don't know what it is. Sometimes I feel like Barry's going through puberty. Or maybe he's actually in his 40s like me and he just forgets shit. I can relate to that. I forget stuff all the time. So maybe that's what's happening. But he is not supposed to be the fastest running man, technically, right now, this week in Central City, alive in the Arrowverse, and be this damn slow. I don't get it. I don't get it. Yeah, I hope you. Oh, okay. You guys are talking to each other. I love it. Barry almost got rid of his speed again. Start the drinking game. He almost started Flashpoint again. Start the freaking. I'm like, I know what I can do. I can go back in time because I hang out with Jennifer Pierce and Black Lightning in the ionosphere. Seems to be her, negative moment. So I want to have one too. Mine's the Speed Force. And I'm just going to go back in time again and F shit up because that is what keeps happening. Barry's been screwing the Speed Force all the time. And now Iris has gotten in on it too. It seems that way. Fan theory, the turtle used his still force powers on Barry's mind. Yes. That might be, you know what? I would be down if that is actually what happened. I would be 100% if they come to find out none of these decisions have ever really been Barry's. I would be okay with that. But I can't, there's no rational reason here. Like it's driving me insane. I watched The Flash and I'm like, I'm doing this because Arrowverse Tuesday should actually include the Tuesday shows. But whenever I watch The Flash now, I'm just fucking annoyed. And I'm sorry I'm dropping some F-bombs here. It's just, I will never get that hour back is what I'm saying. It's just how I feel. So yeah, I did not like this episode. And I did like Cisco and Camilla and their decision to leave Central City. I think was very smart. I love their relationship. I did like seeing Harrison again. It's sad because I know his actor also is leaving. Chester P is always a delight. He's just very smiley and sunshiny, and I like who they have for Chester. Even though technically he's nothing like he is in the comic book, but that's fine. I like Chester, so no problem there. I always love Joe. We didn't get to see Cecile in this, but I like Cecile too. I don't have a problem with Iris. Allegra bores me, but she was a little bit better. Caitlin's boring to me, but she has to do something. But yeah, that's basically all I liked in this episode. I mean, Dion is cool. I felt bad for Dion. I like Dion's actor a lot. He may be dead now. I mean, well, I guess we'll find out next week. But other than that, I mean, and I mean, really, if Dion dies, can't they just zap him like the phone charger they are now for him too? They're literally like an Android or iPhone charger. So I don't know. Well, Nora has an older sister now. This is true. But yeah, that was the Flash. We're done with that. Short and sweet. If you guys want to talk about anything else to do with the Flash, you can post it in the comments, and then I may answer it, or hopefully somebody else will answer it for you. I just I can't. So Supergirl. Let's talk Supergirl. So Supergirl was very, very cool this week, except it did have elements of being written by the same writer as the Flash. It's just weird that we had Iris and Psyche and Allegra and all them having the fear moment, and then this whole episode is basically fear management and dealing with the Phantom, the containment being breached in the tower, the ship they're using to go into the Phantom Zone to rescue Kara. They had to face all their fears. And it's so funny because they just, at the beginning of this episode, Kelly is like giving them tips on, fear management. Think about things that are real, things you can see, taste, hear, touch. And then like Lena tried to use it a little bit, but it seems like nobody else used this advice at all in the, when they were having their fear attacks. But yeah, so that's basically what happened. They're in the tower. Martian tech is amazing. We only get to see Martian tech in moments like this. I wish we got to see Martian tech all of the time. I almost called this ship Watchtower. I can't help it. It's just what it is. I will say, so Kara was attacked by a Phantom very early on. So she started exhibiting behavior that her dad did when we first met him, because when the Phantom scratch you, it takes away all of your, hope. Everything's drained. Everything good is drained. They're like Harry Potter Dementors, basically. So there is that. Luckily, we didn't have to do much with Kara. She was really only in 2 scenes this entire episode, which is great. But I did like her dad was the one being her care bear and boosting her up. And so yeah, I like that moment, and we'll get to that in a second. But so yeah. Lena made, using DO like sun grenades, yellow sun grenades, this like device that's a one-shot thing. They can only use it one time, and it can disperse all of the Phantoms near them and give the yellow sun energy to Kara wherever she is, by proxy also her dad, which they don't know about yet. But my question was, did the DO only have like of the few that she used? Why not make more than one device? Like, I don't get it. Like, maybe it's a limited supply. I don't know how the DO does on stocks or inventory, but I would think if they had yellow sun grenades and they had a bunch of them, then doesn't that mean you have, at least enough to make multiple devices, so you're not just dependent on one device? Because we already had limitations of the shields in the tower were only operational and effective for 2 hours. So it was just a question. I mean, I know they have to make everything dramatic, and this is the last season, and we're not getting any more episodes until August because Superman and Lois are coming back next Tuesday. So I know they had to make this. We had to make the stakes really high. But I mean, what's interesting for me is that we heard about that, the yellow sun bomb. It does get used, but it's like very, very quickly. It's like very quick. There's no drama behind it. Like literally, they could have had 17 of these damn things on this ship, and it would not have made a difference because we only used it one time and it worked automatically. I could see if like the fear factor where they were all put in these different fear visions, and then they got out halfway through the episode, and then they're just like, oh, well, now we got to figure out what the device, or maybe the device is jammed, or, oh, wait, what if we let the device off now? We're not in the vicinity of Kara. Something on that level. We didn't get any of that. We just needed to know that it was a one-shot thing, And that's literally the only stakes we had. We had no stakes on that damn device. So she could have had 27, 30, 40 of them. It would not have made a difference to the plot of this episode. So that is a nitpick that I have. I did like this a little bit more than I liked The Flash for a few reasons. Number one, even though they still downplay my boy, Martian Manhunter, John got to show out a little bit when he was fighting the Phantom. He's like, I'm going to show you what fear's like. And I thought that was cool, even though, again, the stakes for him, for me, are not high because Martian Manhunter can phase through shit. He can make his body completely transparent and you can go through him. So like if the Phantom is like swiping at you, but there's nothing tangible to touch, then you are no threat. And he is one of the most powerful telepaths in the entire effing DC universe. So technically speaking, he was not affected by the fear visions or any of this stuff. The true Martian Manhunter could have knocked that motherfucker out from the bridge of that ship. So they do dumb him down a lot. But I will say, I did like that they gave him that moment. So, I mean, because this is CW Arrowverse Martian Manhunter, I'll take it where I can get it. So my boy Martian, he played out today, so I'm okay with that. But I had to put that in there because it's always something that frustrated me, especially since this is the last season. This is the time you beef him up. You only have like a handful of episodes, you can do this. It doesn't matter if you max the budget. You don't have to max the budget anymore unless you're making a Martian show, which you should, but they won't. Whatever. Or if they do, I think HBO Max should, but that's a whole other conversation. So yeah, I had to throw that out. We got to see Kelly, a preview of her as Guardian. Now I saw a picture of her as Guardian. I am here for it. And when she was like, I may not be able to fight you, but I can protect them. And she grabs that shield. That was so foreboding of the fact that she is going to be the new Guardian of, National City. So I'm here for it. I like Kelly's character. I don't have a problem with Kelly's character. I love that one of her fears was thrown back in her face by the person that she loves, which is Alex. Alex saying you're human and, we have all this, training and intelligence and powers and blah, blah, blah. And we got overtaken. So what good are you? And things like that. And I'm like, that to me, I liked how they did that. I like how they played on everybody's fears. Side note, how effing funny was it that Brady's fear was effing balloons? I mean, that to me was hysterical. This man was like telling Martian, because Martian's like, well, it seems like you're not infected either because of your emotions. He's like, no, I'm actually, I'm compartmentalizing my fear, but I am still, having fear. And he's like, why? Because the balloons, there are balloons everywhere. They just keep going. They're filled with air. They must be stopped. And it's like, I know some people don't like the way Brainy is in this series because it's not comic book accurate, but honestly, he cracks me the hell up. I can't help it. And I think him and Nia are adorable. So I have no hate for that, but his fear being balloons is funny as hell to me. I'm just putting it out there. At first, when I saw Alex, because we didn't realize until the second time it happened, where it says 10 minutes earlier, then you figure out, oh, they're all going into their fears. When I first saw Alex go down to the containment unit, get scratched by the Phantom, and then push Martian Manhunter into the chamber, I was like, son of a bitch. I said, she's been hanging out with Barry. Like, why? And then she's like, I know, I should have kept myself in the containment unit. I should have listened to John. But I have a plan. I can still make this right by throwing my ass out the airlock. And I'm just like, I was like, nope. No, you are not allowed to do crossovers with the Flash anymore. I'm tired of this. I'm like, no, because crazy apparently is transferable. But then we started having, I think Lena was next. And so then I realized, oh, they're just in their fears. And Lena, I love the moment between Lena and Nia when they're talking about their mothers and how their mothers basically affected their lives. How Nia's powers are connected to her mother, even though her mother is gone. And how we find out that Lena's mother actually drowned. And so she had this book that she would read, and she's like terrified of this water creature that drowns you called the Kelpie. And, is basically her own guilt because while her mother was drowning, she was there and she couldn't save her. And so she's always taking it out on herself, even though she was a kid. And as somebody who has lost their mother too, every time I see like, oh, I miss my mom stories, it's like, it gets me. So, I really, really like that, but it was really cool how all of their fears and traumas played out. And that's something new we learned about Lena. So that was pretty cool. So I have no problem with that. And I love the friendship that she's forming with Dreamer and the rest of the team. So I do love that Lena's in on the team and stuff. So no hate there. And plus, I'm waiting for the Lena and Kara sex eyes to return. So there's that too. Because that's why most people watch Supergirl. Let's be honest. So I guess the whole point of this episode was to overcome fear and to take the tower spaceship that only has 2 hours of productive shielding into the Phantom Zone randomly and find Kara and use the device that Lena got or made out of DEO Yellow Sun grenades to empower Kara, even though technically they don't really know exactly pinpoint where she actually is. But it worked because after they defeated all of their fears and John had that cool moment where he like Martianed up and said, I'm going to show you what fear is like. I mean, he went Martian gangster on the Phantom, and I was completely okay with that. But then the next thing you know, Kara's sitting there and the father's like doing he's doing an imitation of Barry with his Care Bear, paragon of love speech. And got, her to be the paragon of hope again and realize that, they can defeat all of the phantoms with no abilities that are coming and we're going to fight and die. Because one beat the hell out of them, but there was like a big group of them. And she's like, you know what? We got this, Dad. So then the bomb went off and then she's like, the dad's like, I feel stronger. She's like, it's Yellow Sun. My family's here. And I'm like, of course, because for plot purposes, we must have this incorporated at least once in this series. And then they got rescued. She flew up. But you know who was hitching a ride on the ship? Nixley. And what's so weird about that is why didn't any of them detect that? Yeah. So the tower is a mess. The tower is a mess. All right. I'm saving Black Lightning for last because I said it in levels of importance, but I also did love Legends. Legends was a silly mess. I effing love it. And honestly, Legends of Tomorrow, this episode for me is the origin story of Big Belly Burger that we see across the DC universe. Everybody goes to Big Belly Burger. You hear Cisco talking about it all the damn time. Even I think Chester and Cisco even went to one when they were back in the 90s episode when they first met Dion. So this is the origin story of Big Belly Burger. That is what it is. But this episode was on point for me. I enjoyed it. I love it. It makes me happy. I don't think the Legends of Tomorrow has ever done a bad episode. I mean, come at me. I just don't. Yes, the first season was darker, but it's still, I really enjoyed it. And I love what they do now. It's just, I love space pirates. So I guess that's one of my favorite genres. So this for me, especially since they're dealing with aliens now, is a dream. So I absolutely love Legends of Tomorrow. And this episode was just effing insane to me. First of all, though, I will say the sauce grossed me the hell out. And then when you saw the alien cocoon that it came from, grossed me the hell out. So basically, this episode, they detect the alien basically in this small town. And it's a town that has a burger shop. It's not Big Belly Burger yet. I forgot what it's called. Let me see if I put it in my notes. But it's just a regular mom and pop burger place. But they learn through I guess the news or newspaper that something happens and all of the town is killed after this shop opens. Now, why the hell they would want to go eat at this place, I don't know. But you know what? It's neither here nor there. But basically, every character had something absolutely hysterical to do. So Ava is super obsessed with finding Sarah, which we know. We know. And with good reason, it's Sarah. So she is not playing around and she is wanting Spooner to use her alien connection to talk to any effing alien they can find. Spooner's even like, I'm only on this ship until you can, get this thing out of my head that the aliens implanted, and then I'm out. And then Gideon's like, well, actually, there's nothing, we don't see anything in there, so you can go. And Ava's like, no, we gonna find my girl first, and then you're gonna go home. Peace out. That's literally what she was like. And Ava was not playing around. So Spooner was forced to join our Legends team as they go investigate this shady burger place to figure out where the alien is. And of course, Spooner is sensing the alien energy everywhere. And so she's like wanting to take people out left and right. But we come to find out it's in the special sauce. So they're thinking, ew, the sauce that everybody's eating in their burgers is a damn alien. And that's effing disgusting. Now, side funny story, we have Zari 2.0, Bayrod and Nate hired on as employees of this burger place. And Bayrod's like, he's like, oh, I'm like the king of burgers. I've never felt like more alive and more myself like I did when I was flipping burgers. And he is literally talking to the burgers. He has a rapport and like connection with these burgers, which is sad. But that's why we like Legends. Effing crazy. The entire episode, Zari is wanting to make a schedule to share the totem with her brother. And in this episode, what makes me laugh and makes me question why Zari can't just do other things. So we know that Zari 1.0, original Zari, is in the totem. So she's sitting there. I think she was flipping a magazine or whatever. And so at first they were fighting over the totem in a way. And then by the end of it, Zari's like, I'm just going to be asked to get into management. I don't need the totem. You keep it. And then her course, Bayrod's like, no, you keep it. I think, you've earned the right to have this. And it's a family heirloom, blah, 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 blah. And then Zari's like, F this. I can't handle this anymore. And she makes a duplicate copy. So both of them now have a totem bracelet, which I didn't know she could do. So that's cool. But if she can do that, can't she come back and have, like, I hate to say this, but conjugal visits with her man, or have Nate come into the totem for a little while? If you can make a physical bracelet outside the totem, why can't you just pull things in? I'm confused about that. I mean, somebody understands that, let me know. But I just thought if she's that powerful, then why not? I don't know. That was just a question that I had. But anyway, so now both of them have totems. We got the alien to hatch, and the alien is actually, it was in the attic of the guy who owned the burger joint's wife's house. So Ava goes to visit the wife because she really, is told that she's the one that makes the special sauce. She goes to figure out what the special sauce is made out of, and it actually is alien cocoon crap. And the wife's like rubbing it, and she's like, oh, it's so beautiful, and you can't take her from me. I don't even know how she knew it was a her, but whatever. And she's like, the way she discovered it is one night she was making Salisbury steak for her husband, and their marriage was on the rocks because their burger business is not doing well and their marriage was failing. And she made Salisbury steak, and then some sauce dropped from the ceiling onto his Salisbury steak. And she's like, and before I could stop him, he bit it, and he thought it was the best thing ever. And I'm like, bitch, what the hell is wrong with you? You let your man eat pink goo that dropped off the ceiling? And he's like, I love this. And she's like, I just had to know where the source was from. So imagine my surprise when I saw her. She was much smaller in the attic. I knew it would save our business, and I will not let you take this from me. And I'm like, oh, Lord, how they turn. Cray. And so it was disgusting. I'm not gonna lie to you. Before the whole Mothra thing popped out of this cocoon and then ate her ass, I was like, this is gross. I thought she was gonna make Ava eat some of it as torture. Oh, it was nasty. It was just, that whole thing was nasty. Me thinking about people eating it, and everybody that ate the sauce was zombie-like. They were frenzied for this meat. Interestingly enough, though, after Spooner shoots the hell out of this alien, they look on the news, and the waitress, there's a young waitress, the only black waitress there, there might have been more black people, but honestly, I didn't think there were, which is very interesting for the 50s and 60s. I mean, you wouldn't think that somebody would be able to just buy business in a small town like that without being called racial names. But I guess in this town, it is what it is. But she ends up buying or taking over the business, which I don't know with what money, because if she was a waitress, I don't know how she was able to do that, but she decided to rebrand it, and it becomes Big Belly Burger. And I kept thinking, I wonder if Cisco on the flat, you know, Barry and like Supergirl, who even has reference to Big Belly. I mean, I think it's been referenced in almost every series except for Black Lightning, but you know, we eat soul food, so it's fine. We'll need to go to Big Belly Burger. But she literally renames it Big Belly Burger, and I just want to know if they kind of were like, this is the origins of this burger place. Alien secret sauce shit. That is absolutely disgusting. So, but yeah, that essentially is what this episode was. And then the thing with Spooner, we learned something new about her too. We learned that Spooner's mother was also abducted with her and never came back. And in my mind, I was like, is that Jessica Cruz? Like, is she gonna be the Green Lantern? I'm like, I'm pushing it, guys. I know it's not gonna happen, but like that made me excited because I'm like, aliens took you. And maybe they're training you to be a lantern, and that's why they let your daughter go. That's what I'm saying to myself. That's the backstory I came up with, because her last name is Cruz, and technically Jessica Cruz doesn't have kids. But I mean, this is the Arrowverse, so she could have had a kid, and Mama could have been Jessica Cruz. I don't know. I don't know how to bring her in the universe, but I just thought that was pretty damn close. I was here for it. But Spooner is now going to be a part of the Legends for a while, because for therapeutic reasons, she wants to shoot and keep shooting all of the aliens for closure. And Ava's still going after Sarah. So it's a trade-off. Now, side story. Sarah and Gary have crashed on this planet. And I don't think it's War World, but it probably is in the comics. It more than likely is. I already told you what I thought was happening. But focusing solely on this, they see a dog, which is very suspicious, because why in the hell is there a dog in the middle of the, you know, on this planet, like way, way away from Earth? So it's like, okay, this is crazy. So Gary's like, resist, don't follow the cute dog, because you know it's just going to lead to trouble. And I'm like, yes, Gary. And then Sarah's like, I'm going to follow the dog. And I'm like, no. I'm like, listen to Gary. And she follows the dog, and they end up talking, and then we learn more about Gary's home planet, how, you know, they even eat each other. They just, it's not a very democratic world. It's pretty a dog world, which made me question how Gary survived this long being the way he is. And, you know, him being addicted to rose water and friends and chocolate and all that stuff is just, I can see this now. I completely understand why Gary is the way he is. But I really like Gary. They need to stop being so mean. Yes, he's very in your face a lot. But I mean, I really like Gary. And Sarah's annoyance to him is really funny. But they find Amelia Earhart. And Amelia Earhart is not normal. She's like making dinner, and she keeps telling the same story about how she got lost and not wanting them to leave. And finally she like basically kind of teeth and stuff come out, and she attacks Sarah, and Sarah gets hurt. And like, it's crazy. That whole scene was creepy. Like it was almost like two different movies. Like it's like The Blob or The Stuff. I think they even referenced that crazy ice cream movie, The Stuff. If you haven't seen The Stuff, it is messed up. But there's so many movies like that. But like The Stuff, and then like the whole Lost in Space kind of vibe, and like some of the set looked like one of the Star Trek reboot movies in the Abrams universe. Because of instead of it being all pink, or I think in the Abrams one, it was an all red flowered world instead of the all pink flowered kind of world. But it almost looked like they took that from Abrams, from one of the Star Trek movies. I was really looking for lens flares, but you know, it almost seemed like two different movies, but both kind of dated. And I don't know. I thought it was really, really cool. But yeah, there's just a lot. Now, we don't have Astrid in this one yet. I know she's going to join at some point because she's in all the promos, but right now she's trying to find herself. So eventually she'll come around. Constantine is cool and everything. So, and everything that he is in, he's cool. Rory is cool. Rory ended up like whole ass steering a police car. So I'm really trying to figure out what happened to those cops that they were talking to. Yeah, overall, I really, really enjoyed Legend, but quite frankly, you'd be hard pressed to find me ever say at any time I did not like, a Legends episode. I'm sad at Legends episodes, like when Ray and Nora went away in season 5. That made me very sad. But I don't dislike the show because it's campy and it's got space themes. And right now I'm living out my best dream of a more comical Firefly, because I'm a big Firefly Serenity fan, are space pirates in space. So I'm completely here for it. So yeah, I still don't know what's going to happen with Zari. I don't know if we're going to keep 2.0 or get 1.0. I feel like they're putting a lot of character development in the 2.0 to just get rid of her. So I don't know, but we know that both of them can't live on the same time frame. Well, I think it's actually 1.0 can't live as long as Behrad is there. So if he goes away, then we could have the 2 Zari. So it's an interesting thing. I also loved the whole idea of a winter wedding when Gary was like, I think you guys with your complexions, a winter wedding would be beautiful. And Sarah's like, you're not planning our wedding, Gary. But she's like, but yes, a winter wedding would be beautiful. And then we start seeing all of these lights coming at them. And I'm like, oh, this is not good. This is not good. So honestly, we had Mothra. We may have Godzilla soon. Who knows where the hell they are? Like, who knows? I would be surprised if we see Kong and Godzilla fighting in the background at this point. Who knows? I mean, it's HBO Max. Like, so, but I really enjoyed this episode. So let's see. Let me try and find the cutoff and see. Because I know I probably did not answer any questions about Supergirl either, but that's what happens when you roll through 4 shows. Let's see. Therapy and magic. I mean, sometimes therapy can be magic. Let's be real. I get it. And I know what you meant. Therapy is magic. Why just one device? Plot-induced stupidity sometimes. I'm telling you, they're like, we need to use the Barry Allen slow thinking model. Like, what would Barry do in this situation? Nothing quickly. All right, so we're going to make it completely as difficult and not make any sense until the very end. Because honestly, again, there was no point to telling us that there was one shot at this with this one device with the yellow sun grenades when we see it for like a second go off. There were no stakes. I mean, there was no chance of missing. It's like, whatever. John Johns is so nerfed down. I don't even call the CW version of him Martian Manhunter. I just call him Green Nerf Man. I mean, I can't really argue with that. I just realized how late I am. Also, I'm mad because my TV messed up, so I couldn't watch Supergirl. What? Well, this is probably an episode you won't really miss a lot of, so it's fine. Hi, Chaston. Thank you. I paid for it myself. This is my Neptune wig. Guys, I'm a Sailor Neptune fan. I need to do an unboxing. I just got my Sailor Neptune and Uranus. See if I can show you this one. This is Uranus. I have not taken her out of this box yet. And then I also have Neptune, just throwing that in there. So this will probably be an unboxing because I just got them in the mail from Japan because I'm obsessed. Just let me have it. All right. Legends is the best show. Yes, it is. It really is. I mean, I do like Black Lightning. We'll get into that in a minute because that's the last show we're talking about. Hi, Nicholas. Welcome back. I like the Legends episode, but I feel like Constantine could have soloed the alien on his own. I agree. I mean, could you imagine him sending aliens to hell? That would be funny as hell. How about now? No, who knows the Big Belly Burger was a Black-owned business? I know, right? And I don't even know where she got the money, but we all know. You don't need money in the multiverse or Arrowverse or any form of DC universe on TV, DCEU probably even, because you just can own stuff and not have to worry about paying unless you're a Kent and then your farm gets repossessed. But other than that, you don't got to worry about money. You don't even need a job. I don't get it. What the CD Arrowverse has is not the dearly beloved Green Martian. It's not. It is not. Do you think since the totem is split, it's not as powerful, and to use the full power, they need to work together? And also, is there now two spaces in totem or still one? That's a good question. I was thinking maybe they're going to be like their own version of the Wonder Twins. They have Wonder Twin powers activate instead of being able to actually choose what they're going to be. They just use wind power. But yeah, maybe they have to split it to make a more powerful streamer. I don't know. I'm curious to see how that works. I thought Dreamer would be the one to get them out. I didn't expect it to be Martian Manhunter, but I'm happy because at least the writers didn't weaken them. Yeah. Well, I knew between him and Dreamer, he is a freaking high level. I'm just going to say it. He is the best telepath in the entire DC universe. He is like God tier, like level telepath. It's literally, as far as I'm concerned, he's better than Jean Grey as Phoenix mixed with Professor X, with Psylocke thrown in. He is like, he's literally the end game of fucking up your mind. So I did not think that they would have an effect. I would have called bullshit if they had affected him. If he had had a clear vision, I would have been pissed because there's no Earth, a universe in general, that Martian Manhunter will ever succumb to having his mind completely taken over by another entity. It's just not going to happen. So, ooh, yakety yak. Yeah, that goo is that sauce. That was a mess. It was like a campy horror film from the 50s. It really was. It really was. There's so many. If you go on Prime and just type in 50s horror, you will see so many movies that look like they inspired legends, especially down to how like the actual restaurant itself looked. Like I've seen so many movies, like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes come to mind. They made a cartoon out of it too, but they had a scene where they were at like literally this kind of, it looked like a Sonic, like an older Sonic when they still came out on the skates and stuff. But like they had like the rollaway chairs and you could eat inside. It looked just like that. It's funny. Legends just keep messing up my appetite. I know. I don't know what happened this week, guys. I mean, I had to sit through Batwoman and Alice popping off her nail, and then we got yellow, orange, like pinkish goo. I just can't handle it. I can't handle it. And I will say on Supergirl, I was kind of pissed that there were no fear of clowns because that would have been my thing. And then I just would have injected all those motherfuckers out the airlock. That's how I would have solved that dilemma. I mean, this Legends logic does not apply. It doesn't need to apply. This is the one time it does. And you know what, though? The Legends are still faster thinkers than Barry Allen. Just saying. Yeah, the episode, a lot of gross shots zooming in to people eating with sauce all over their face. Yes. Oh, I hate that. I don't like when people get foods caught in their mustache or you can see it in their teeth and then pour. And like they did extreme close-ups of the sauce just on their corner. Oh, I can't handle it emotionally. Nope. Why do I feel like Nora is the Chronarch? Because she probably is. Like, I'm just, you know what? I just, no. Give up on the Green Lantern idea. Okay, what about Red Lantern? Yellow Lantern, Black Lantern. I mean, we can go on all day. I need a lantern. Freaking lantern. Yeah, fantasy. It was 50s America, and not only were they hiring people of color at a white restaurant, but there was integrated eating spots. I am in confusion. I know, and like people were not being disrespectful to her. At first, I thought maybe the two cops were going to be that way, but they were more redneck than racist. They were just like, "Well, you coming to our town asking us questions, ma'am?" I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I've always felt that way too in Doctor Who. Whenever they have minority companions, and they have done accuracy with Martha Jones because she ended up on a part of history where she was basically a colored maid, and the Doctor had lost his memory. It was a long time ago, so they did play that up, and he did say there were places that would be difficult for her to fit in. But it seems like in Legends, we have seen racism before, especially with the OG cast whenever they would go in the past. But it seemed like now, because it's so campy, people are just accepted wherever they go. And it's just very weird. Like even Spooner is a minority and they should have been staring at her. And so are Bayrod and Zari. And Zari, even when they were at Marie Antoinette's, nobody were like, what the hell are you? Why are you from here? We don't know what you are. You're dark skinned, blah, blah, blah. So it's interesting how it's not a concept in Legends in a way. So like they can just kind of roll wherever they want. I don't know. Logic does not apply in Legends. It's balls to the wall crazy. I mean, it's true. Also, does Nate even remember he has powers? I don't know. He was too busy having fun in his shorts and skating, so probably not. Oh, no, not the lens players. You know that's an Abram original. Come on now. Mick disappeared for part of the episode. I know. I don't know where the hell Mick keeps going. I really don't. I absolutely don't. I'm sure he does, but remembers the episode tends to be cost effective because using CGI to buff the use of powers is still pretty high. So I feel like even if, first of all, if you know you can't commit to a character, don't bring this character into your show. Endgame. Find some way where you can do Martian Manhunter's powers justice without having to have so much CG and light works. I mean, you don't have to see him in your head. You can do actual creative shots of the person being trapped in a dark space in their mind. I mean, there are ways of doing this. I went to film school, damn it. You can do this cost effectively. You're not trying. I don't want to hear that. Hopefully Sarah invites the rest of her family to the wedding. I mean, what's left of it? I mean, her dad's dead, her sister's dead. Her mom, I think, is still alive. Also, I just realized that both Supergirl and Flash had a lot of love. Yeah. They had the same writer for this week. No, praise Neptune in all her glory. Yes, it's my girl. So I missed the ending of Supergirl, so I will have to rewatch. Okay. Just comment below what you think about it. I know you will, Kevin. You're pretty good at that. Legends is the best CW comedy, and Black Lightning is the best CW drama. We're about to talk about Black Lightning. That was my theory. Split in half equals split power. I mean, yeah, I think they'll be the Wonder Twins. Why not? We need some in because we're obviously not getting them now because of all the crisis and the people that are leaving, not being able to do a full Justice League. So weird. I have seen Attack of the Killer Tomato. That movie is a mess. It is a mess. I love it. I think The Blob is one of my favorites too. It's just so damn nasty. Am I the only one who thought that Legends took a variant of Captain Planet, which when it comes with the totems, because it gave me the same amount of possible Captain Planet Justice League? Yeah. I mean, I've been seeing Captain Planet in a lot of the Arrowverse, honestly, to be fair. I like that they acknowledged that someone was protecting National City. As well they should. How would you rank these seasons of all the Arrowverse shows? Like current season? Black Lightning. Black Lightning. Then Legends of Tomorrow. Superman and Lois. Supergirl. And then The Flash. The Flash is always going to be at the bottom for me. I'm sorry. Barry's just too damn stupid. I can't get down with stupidity. I can't get down to someone who's supposed to be so smart, but so slow. Like, even like my spouse is very introverted, extremely smart, has to process everything. And even River would have had a concept in like 20 minutes. This guy, the whole damn episode, it was the last 2 minutes. He's like, I was wrong. You know what? Stop. Don't even come home. If I was, I'm like, you sleeping on somebody else's couch, not even ours. You need to just go. The whole entire mystery sauce reminds me of the Supernatural episode where Dean ate the alien Greg. No, I didn't see that. Nope. Nope. The police in this episode actually were racist, but being possessed by the evil alien made them less racist. I could see that. They portrayed sexism in a lot of episodes, yet didn't even show a hint of racism that took place during the time period. It's a thing. And I mean, I get that they were on the sauce, but let's not forget that waitress is still now the owner of Big Belly Burger, which is going to franchise and make her a trillionaire. So yeah, her dad's alive because of Crisis. I keep missing when they keep saying shit. I'm being real because Crisis was such a train wreck that every time someone's like, oh yeah, they're alive again, I'm like, you know what? DC, the problem I've always had since the death of Superman, and I even made a video about this, the guy that directed that crappy Fantastic Four movie did a really good documentary where it basically says DC has basically killed the concept of death. And that's when they did the Death of Superman arc, which honestly was pretty damn stupid. And he's dead. Everybody mourn about dead. And all these Superman start showing up. Oh, wait, he's just in hibernation. Blah, blah, blah. This is what this feels like to me. It's like you're all dead, except you're not. Crisis brought you all back, except not everyone. Crisis changed some things, but not everything. Black Lightning got affected. Nope, it did not. The Hood didn't get affected. All the events that happened before Crisis, guess what? That shit's still valid today. So I can't talk about Crisis. It's going to make my blood pressure go up. If Laurel comes to the wedding, I'm going to be happy. If Laurel's alive, they got some explaining to do about that too. I am so confused right now. Especially when, since Crisis, we already had Sarah and Damien's little confrontation. So it would be really weird that all of a sudden Laurel's alive again. It wouldn't make sense. But then why? It doesn't make sense that she's not alive too. None of this makes sense. It doesn't make sense. Poor Barry. He is slow and it's sad. He is. My name is Barry Allen. I am the slowest thinking man currently alive in the Arrowverse today. Because I can't fire my synapses or my brain cells in a fast way, even though my body transcends light. I run so fast, my brain doesn't work. The Flash. I'm like, even though he's not really running and he's standing still and he's still not able to think. It's just really weird. It's really weird. I have to have a thought. I'm going to go ask Wells about it. I'll be back. Oh, Iris, your children are going to be so stupid. I'm so sorry. Also, LL, the forces being Barry and Iris's kids. I'm telling you, they get to have children without having sex, procreation, and and her labor was awesome. I'm jealous because I didn't have that. It's a crisis of infinite mistakes. I agree. I thought we were getting the Wonder Twins on Stargirl because wouldn't they fit in not only age-wise as Titans really ain't it? Because I can see the twins vibe with Beth and Rick. I would love to have a reinvention, even though technically the Wonder Twins are more golden age. I would love to see them in Blue Valley. I think that would be cool as hell. They put Frost out of the way to pay for the CGI for the other force of nature. Is that what they did? Maybe that is what they're doing. You know what they should do? They should put Barry away and pay for the other forces. It's the Black Siren Laurel that's still around. You ever notice how in this episode, he really was not in his suit at all? Like he really only used his speed like a second. Like the Still Force is much better than the Speed Force because he let the Still Force freeze him and take the damn harness. So yay. Oh my God, Psyche is the problem child. Yep. This guy, when the forces were created, was honestly pretty nice. Yeah, it was a pretty light show. I'll give you that. Idea for a Flashpoint plot. The turtle tries to kidnap Barry to steal his brain when he finds out that Barry's brain is the physical embodiment of the Still Force. Oh, I love it. I love it. And Nora is the black sheep of the family. I agree. All right. Okay. I gotta stop talking about the Flash. My brain's gonna hurt. Okay. So now we're gonna get down to the show I want to talk about. Because save the best for last. Black Lightning. Woo! It was a shitstorm. I loved it. Tobias. First of all, Tobias Smooth Butt was sitting there playing guitar, playing the piano, not a care in the damn world. He's like, got through the whole song, then checked his I think he checked his device and he was like, where the hell is my shipment? I'm like, that man. He was like, I have to be classy first before I get angry. They showed a video of what happened to his shipment because earlier Anissa sent Lightning to basically steal a canister because they're basically trying to make everyone understand that Mona Vista is experimenting or taking metagenes from pregnant women to synthesize, and they're doing it for Tobias so he can give it out, which he does. Tobias, because Chief Lopez comes to congratulate Tobias for being elected as the mayor. Tell me this is not fucking Lex Luthor. This is the Lex Luthor story we needed. Because instead of president, he's the mayor. But she comes and she's like, can we get some more, DEG guns? And he's like, oh, I got something better. He said, you want it, you take a gun to a gunfight because the criminals have guns, but Why don't you do the same thing with powers? And he basically gives her the meta boosters that Lynn had been experimenting on. And I kept thinking to myself, Lynn, you really effed a lot of shit up. Because if she had not been experimenting with that, letting him see that she was doing that back in the last season, when they were dealing with the ASA, he would have never had that part of the plan, and he would never, put that in motion. If he had not realized that she also could extract the genes from Val to power the damn emitter to take all the powers away from people, another Lynn creation, then he wouldn't have been able to do that part of the plan. That's why when he said earlier this season that Lynn was essential for shit, he wasn't lying. Because without Lynn, he couldn't get most of this stuff done. So Lynn really was the problem. And I feel really bad because they've been character assassinating her all season, but Lynn literally effed everybody over. Her own damn family. Everybody got fucked up because of Lynn. I'm just throwing it out there. And I mean, I feel bad. But Tobias has these little bracelets that negate the effects of, the emitter. So as long as you wear this bracelet, you have your powers. Now, I wonder, though, are your powers just affected in Freeland? Like, can you go to Central City and get your meta abilities back? Or I guess another question that I have, if they could call Team Flash to get the device to put Jen's particles back together, then how come Jefferson can't pick up the phone and be like, look, man, there's this machine and it's turned on and it blocked my powers. You got something that can help a brother out? But why? Why can't you do that? What's stopping you from doing that? Anyway, so Lynn's former boyfriend, Keith, is like, I looked at all the evidence against you, girl. You need to take a plea deal. I was like, now, didn't he just say in the last episode, I got you, Lynn. I got you. I'm the best lawyer on the planet. I got you. And she's like rubbing his arm and stuff. And then now he's like, you need to take a plea deal. And Jefferson, he was out being all alpha, and he's like, this is between me and my wife. And he's like, ex-wife. I was like, oh. And Lynn was like, boys, stop it. I'm like, she loved it. She loved they were fighting over her. I will say, side note, more character assassination for Lynn. Jefferson wants to get remarried, which I honestly don't understand why, because they've been so damn toxic to each other, especially this season. Why would you want to recommit to that? And Lynn was like, doing everything to change the subject. Yes, we definitely need to throw a wedding party for Grace and Anissa. And she's like, oh, I just want to celebrate. She was going to go bang him to stop talking about getting remarried. That right there is a problem, because you already saw her rubbing her ex-boyfriend's arm, and now she's not even considering remarrying you. That is a 100% issue that we just saw a glimpse of. And this is like what? There's only 1-2 episodes left of Black Lightning. Just saying. So let's talk about Lightning is having a lot of problems with her powers fading in and out. They don't know what's wrong. Honestly, it's probably because inside of her body, the real Jen, her previous form, and her are fighting each other out. And whoever ends up being the true Lightning is going to be the one that has the powers. And what's sad is JJ went through some shit. So first of all, Tobias ran a DNA test and figured out that they are both the same person. So that's information he should not ever have. And then Isaiah, or the boy she has a crush on. So TC actually set it up so they could go on a date. Because if you remember, she thought he was the one that ratted her out to the police and set Lightning up. And, I don't know why she didn't think that maybe Lopez had done something to hack his phone or hack the situation. But, sometimes the Pierces don't think logically. And so what's sad is, though, they get to have a little date and they're walking home together. And I already knew Tobias was going to do something. Because after he found out that JJ and Jen had the same DNA, he called Red. And he doesn't ever call Red unless he's about to send Red out to try and kill somebody. So that's what happens. He goes there while they're walking. from dinner and attacks her and her now boyfriend. And what's so sad about that is that like she had the shield up around herself and told him to run, which I don't know why she told him to run. I've been like, stay in this damn field where it's safe. Don't run anywhere because I'm here with the shield and you over there. And then what happens? He ends up getting killed. Like he gets stabbed. One of the dagger things gets in, I guess it was in his chest area, right below his chest. And then like what's so sad about that too is in his dying breath, he was like, you just gotta light everything up. Keep lighting it up, lightning. Because like he just figured out that that's lightning. I mean, he was fangirling or fanboying over lightning in his last moments of life. I'm like, that is so effed up. It's so effed up. I just can't. So yeah, Uriah, he's dead. Uriah is dead. And I feel so bad too because he was an interesting character. And she had a cute little moment, but you know, they can't have people. So Grace is canon in the comics. That's the only reason she's not dead. So I mean, let's be real. All right. So I'm gonna get to the good stuff with Painkiller, but there's also a ledger that Painkiller found. And so, you know, TC sets up a video chat with, of course, Jefferson and Khalil. And Khalil tells him about the ledger, and he says there's one name on there that we're still trying to find, and it's the Looker. And as soon as he said that, I was like, oh, shit. And Jefferson's like, yes, I know who that is. And so Khalil's like, I'll just go get her. I'll just go get her. And then he's like, let me do this for you. I love how he's like, how is Jen? And he's like, oh, you know, she's fine. Everybody keeps lying to this man. Why isn't everyone not saying, well, she doesn't look the same anymore, and she's actually going on a date that your man TC just set up, but you know, it's all good. But you know, Khalil has every intention of defeating the Painkiller in his mind and coming back home, which why the hell you would want to come back to Freeland, I don't know. Your setup is cool as hell. You need to stay where you are. Have people come stay with you. But that's a whole other conversation. But the moment when Khalil walked into that building and was beating the hell out of everybody, and then we had our own version of the Flash who tried to run at him. He's like, "Oh, you're fast," and he just grabbed him right in the middle of him speeding. And he's like, "I trained for that." And I was like, "Oh, why can't I see you fight Barry? I want you to beat the shit out of Barry." Okay, sorry. It was a passion dream. That moment was effing cool. And when they finally make it to Lookout, and she's, you know, she held her own. She had the nails, you know, blah, 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 blah. But honestly, Khalil and Painkiller beat the shit out of her. And then Painkiller was just like poisoning her. And she's like, what did you do? He's like, I killed you. Like the way he said that was like, duh. And then here comes Khalil. We need her alive. Do you want Tobias to win? And then Painkiller's like, fucking tired of this. Like, you can see it. He's just like, I'm tired of this stuff. I'm tired of this. You gonna let me kill somebody? So I absolutely am so amused at Khalil and Painkiller's relationship and how they talk to each other. And I love how they fight. And I love how Painkiller was like, how you realize this is our house? I'm like, yeah, I already knew she was going down. But yeah, they were able to subdue her by Painkiller poisoning her and Khalil giving her half the antidote and saying, you're going to get on. I think he told her to get on the L and go back to Freeland and confess your crimes. And I'm like, why would you have her do that? Why wouldn't you take her there yourself? That doesn't make any sense. But he did say you can get the other half of the antidote once you do this and give her powers back. And if she does do that, she's stupid, because I don't think that's going to happen, because he have no intention of giving her that power, because she was controlling Agent Mason and all that. She was hired by Tobias to use her power, her little silver goo crap. See? You see that? We had goo in Legends and we had silver goo in Black Lightning. They're all on the same page this week. They all had the same meeting. And yeah, so now we know that everybody that's been testifying against Jefferson is controlled by Lookout, or the Looker. And so I don't know why I call her Lookout. I'm like, I just want to call her that. But she if she does the right thing and confesses, then that should essentially free up Lynn. And so she won't go to jail, which, it is what it is. Because she had to make the decision of fighting it and having all her family secrets exposed or having minimal jail time. It's a thing, guys. It's a thing. It is a thing. But again, I really want Gambi to have a girlfriend. I really like him with Lauren. I love the fact that Lauren was surprised that Gambi was carrying C4. I'm like, I am not surprised by anything that Gambi carries. Gambi is an army of one. If you want to talk about the person in Freeland who is the real superhero, it is Gambi. Because Gambi he literally is Batman. If you want to talk about a Bruce Wayne that is aged, he is Bruce Wayne. He's got a layer under his shop. He has all the tech he needs. He's great at tech. He has contingency plans for contingency plans. I mean, this is an age version. If he rolled up in Batwoman as Bruce Wayne, I would buy it as an age Bruce Wayne. Just saying. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, Gambi's a baby's kid. So I absolutely love every scene that I see Gambi in, and I love how him and Lauren seem to be. Because his actor even said he wanted to go out having a girlfriend, so I need this to happen. It looks like it might happen, and he's trying to help her find the emitter, but they did find the promethium. There's a vine of promethium is literally under Freeland, and that's pretty much why the ASA everybody wants to come there, because they want the promethium. So they're living on toxic shit, and think of the irony of that, and an area that's considered the hood, on top of a dangerous substance. Who would have thought? I'm like, who would have thought? And then one of the coolest things that happened in this episode for me, which did not happen, it's mentioned, which means it's going to happen, is Tobias saw what happened to his accountant guy and basically saw that Khalil was the one that took him out, aka painkiller technically, and said, why would you come back on my grass when I let you live, pretty much. And then so he calls, I knew he wasn't calling Red, he calls Ishmael and says that he basically has a loose end. So Ishmael is going to fight Khalil and Painkiller. And that is literally, if nothing else happens in this damn series in the last 2 episodes, I think we have 2, I think it's 13 episodes, so we have 2 episodes left. That for me will make the season, is seeing them fight Ishmael, because that's badass. Not Black Lightning, not Thunder, not Lightning, not anybody else. I need to see Khalil / Painkiller versus Ishmael, and it seems like that's what's going to happen, and I am here for it. I'm excited as hell for it. We gonna have fun talking about that episode. Now, if it goes the other way and Ishmael wins, I'm gonna be pissed, but I'm here for it. I'm here for it. So yeah, I mean, and I did like the fact that Jefferson revealed his identity too, because remember, he has I call him Detective Tupac. I can't help it. Hassan Shakur, I think his name is. He got him to help him. So Lynn made this like serum that's supposed to separate the silver goo from the person that's being controlled. And so they needed to roofie him. So like Jefferson tried to reason with him first, and then he like basically revealed he's Black Lightning. And so, Hassan decides to help him. And so they get coffee, and they're all, drinking the coffee. And then when Agent Mason drinks it, the silver goo comes out of his mouth, and like, I like the look on Hassan's face. He's like, that's the most disturbing shit I've ever seen before in my life. And I'm like, welcome to Freeland. And I'm like, so side note, so in the last episode, Anissa got in a fight with Grace over their powers, and Anissa walked away. Are they still in that fight? Because Grace wasn't in this episode. So I'm like, are they still fighting? Because I don't know what happened. So I need somebody to let me know, because I hate when they do that shit. It's like, you just had this couple that just got married and they're working out their stuff, and they get into a fight, just like Iris and Barry got into a fight, and Barry seemed to try and pull that entitlement stuff where I'm the Flash and I have the powers, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to do it anyway, whether you agree or not. it seems like you would have had that same situation in this one, and then they would have had to come together and make up. And I don't think that ever happened at the end of the last episode, and she wasn't in this one. So I'm just curious. So I guess that's my one nitpick. Like, what the hell? What the hell? But yeah, outside of that, this was, I mean, I can't say it's my favorite because actually all the episodes to this point have been pretty damn solid. And, but I will say it's increasingly getting better and better and better as we go. So Black Lightning is not letting me down like the Flash at all. And I don't know. I'm really excited for the next 2 episodes, especially if the next episode is Ishmael versus Khalil versus Painkiller. That will be on point. So, all right, look at that. 1 hour and 14 minutes. And I have recapped and answered questions of 4 shows. I'm doing great, guys. Doing great. So let me scroll up, make sure I don't miss anything. Trying to make sure I don't, but you know. Okay, here we go. This should be the first comment. Maria, don't forget he and anyone that he's in the vicinity of associated with is not allowed to on Zimmeroni Queen. One lady, go to read this. I got you. We on the same page, Nicholas. Don't think they lock up criminals on the Flash. I don't know what the hell they do on the Flash. I mean, at all. It could be like some reverse. Well, I better not say anything. I was going to spoil Jupiter's Legacy, what's potentially going to happen in season 2. Damn it, Lynn, you screwed us. Yes. I mean, why, Lynn? I don't understand why. I mean, she's the catalyst for all this stuff, even though it wasn't intentional. Yeah, pretty much. It's like the love child between Lex Luthor and Kingpin. So I go, we have Tobias effing well. I mean, he is best villain Tobias. If they had a plaque for best Arrowverse villain, Tobias would win. If they gave it to John Cryer's Lex Luthor, I will call racism because that is bullshit. Bullshit. Tobias is very methodical. I mean, very methodical. Everything he views and everything he sees in every season, he uses against somebody, at some point. So I love how he was even paying off the barbershop people because, all the best gossip's in the barbershop. We got Ishmael versus Painkiller. Yes, we do. Ain't nothing new. Lynn is literally like a news article, new issue every other week, and Progressively gets worse every time we have our backs turned. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Jefferson Kelly can see the forest for the trees. I don't know what the hell Jefferson sees. Jefferson just needs to understand that his wife don't want him. It's just what it is. Let's see. I know. I'm so sad that he's dead. As soon as Jen sees Khalil, she's going to figure out all about that guy. And you know what? That would just prove she's more like her mama. I mean, although I will say, and I will continuously say this, as somebody who is a parent and a minority, and someone who had one parent who was a minority, and someone who used to have regular ass beatings if they didn't do what they were supposed to do. And I was a good kid. I don't understand how Jen and Anissa are still alive. I'm just putting it out there. Jefferson was like, you took your ass to the ionosphere. What the hell is wrong with you? She's like, well, sometimes, Anissa's like, sometimes you just got to do things that, against what you want and are aggressive to get things done. I'm like, and sometimes I need to find the extension cable and wrap it around your neck. I'm like, they were not spanked enough as a child. And like, I'm not a child abusing person. I don't believe in abusing children, but you know what? Tan that butt, tan it more. Because obviously something is wrong in that household. Because those kids are just, that little girl, Jen, even when China was playing her, would not have lasted in my house. Because that little girl would have had the shit smacked out of her on day one. She would have, look, ionosphere, what? Are you going with me, Daddy? I'm like, are we allowed to go? How long, Daddy? Mm-mm. Black Lightning would be a different series if it was at my house. I'm like, nope. And there would have been no Jefferson and Lynn situation with my parents. That shit wouldn't have applied in 2 seconds. The moment Khalil sees Jen, he's gonna feel like he's cheating. I'm serious. That whole situation is just messed up. Maybe that's why they killed off, her new boyfriend, because maybe China's coming back for the finale. So we'll get the old China back. I don't know. To be fair, I don't the situation with Jen is something you can just explain without visual aids. That's true. But to be fair, I think most of the situations with the Pierce family cannot be explained without visual aids. Will Looker ever get the antidote? I say let the heifer die. Probably not. I wouldn't give it to her. They're stupid if they actually give it to her. Gamby's actor should play Alfred in the next Batman film. I agree. You know what? That is a very good... He's not going to be him. They've already casted Alfred. But I think him being Alfred in Batwoman would be cool. I think that would be really cool. Gamby carries death on him like it's Old Spice body spray. Gamby don't play, period. He does. He's like a combination of Old Spice and Axe. I love how he talks too. He's like, I wanted to apologize to you in person. He always talks like he's getting ready to do a radio advertisement. It's like, I'm serious, Lauren. I really needed you to come here, and I have someone that I need you to speak to, because everything I say is very important with the tone of my voice. Like, I love Gamby. Here, Gamby is less morally questionable than Nick Fury. Now, in the comics, we already know that Gamby was the one that really killed Jefferson's father. It was not Tobias. But I do like this version of Gamby a lot better. I wish they still had kept his brother in it, though, from the comics. Or at the very least, an age Bruce Wayne mentoring Terry McGinnis for Batman Beyond. Yes, I would effing love him to be. Oh my gosh, that would be. I mean, I love Kevin Conroy. I'd like to give it to him too, because he is our animated voice for Batman. It has been for years. But if we couldn't get him, then yes, I absolutely would be down with Gamby being the aged Bruce Wayne. Has the Painkiller show been picked up? I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out, because they keep announcing seasons for all these other shows. And I don't know why we haven't gotten confirmation of Painkiller yet. It's really weird to me. So I'm trying to figure out exactly, like, I don't know where to get the source, because I look on Superhero Hype and a bunch of other sites, and I'm not getting valid information. Because one site will say, oh, it's picked up. Another one's like, we're waiting to be picked up. I'm like, so I don't want to say that it has, because I don't have a clue. Until they come out and make an announcement, I don't know. I have no idea. Is the voice of Sokka? It was very unclear, and if they aren't, then it's reflecting, or should I say, New Age Jefferson and Lynn marriage, which ain't healthy for Thunder Grace in the voice of Sokka. Nicholas, what's wrong with you? They get married. The after evening file for divorce again. Well, in the comics, they never get remarried, so maybe they're just trying to be more comic accurate by the end. I don't know. The Pierces have main character insurance. They do. They absolutely do. And there's always main character insurance in the Arrowverse. And it's weird, because I feel like Barry should go, and we should bring Wally back and see how he does, because he thinks faster. So I don't know. I like Wally better in the comics too. And yes, Jen and Nissa have way too much attitude with their parents. They would not make it in my house. They would not have made it in my house. Painkiller was on fire in this episode. Watching him was like the opposite experience of watching Barry Allen. Let's go back to this really quickly, though. Also, as a mother, and my daughter, she's sweet. If that child came up to me and said, I'm going back to the ionosphere, before she even got through with that sentence, I would have gone back in time and uninvented her. that would have been it. I would have started my own time rift, flashpoint, whatever, because that is what parenting is. Parenting is not letting your child talk crazy to you. No, parenting is uninventing them. I told my daughter once, I will smack you. No, I will stick my foot up your butt. So far, you will be spitting my toenails for the rest of your life, because that is good parenting. Demonetized. Painkiller was on fire in this episode. Watching him was like the opposite experience of watching Barry Allen. I know this man's got a whole other person in his head he has to fight, and he still makes better decisions. Oh, my Lord. Jefferson clearly has lost it. Time to find a new boo, because you don't need someone who constantly puts you and your family in danger, and because she doesn't have common sense, or flee into the next hit. Something is just wrong. Something is just wrong. I don't know if you watch Drag Race, but every time I hear little girl, all I can think of is Tamisha Iman. I haven't seen Drag Race. I probably should check that out. I've been hearing people talk about that, and Amazing Race. I haven't seen that either. Okay. When I read a Batman comic, it's Kevin Conroy's voice I hear when I read the Batman's dialogue. That's everybody. That's not you. That's everybody. Have to do it, guys. Have to do it. When you talk for almost an hour and a half. I love this lipstick, but it does not love me. So sometimes you got to reapply. I don't know how many people in the live stream will do that, but you know, I try to be real. Let's see. Jennifer and Nissa would have ceased to exist. The backhand my parents and grandma would have thrown so quick. We'd be got into the ether. Seriously. You talk about having like a fear like moment where you go into your mind. If I would have said, heck, my mother was Scottish. If I would have told my mother a third of the shit that Anissa and Jen has said to Lynn and Jefferson, my mother would have given me, if I didn't have a fear, I would have had a fear after that. She's the Freddy Krueger of my universe. She was like, I would not sleep ever again. My eyes would be permanently open. I do not understand. That is the one problem or nitpick, I guess, that I have with this series is that there is this isn't even a stereotype. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, from personal experience, there's no minority, not just Black. There is no minority household I have ever been a part of that allows their children to talk crazy to them and then allows them to live. So that is literally the only nitpick I have in terms of suspending my disbelief. I can't do it. Can't do it. But other than that, this week, I already talked about Batwoman, but this week's rotation of Arrowverse shows, some were hit, some were missed. Batwoman was actually pretty good this week, so I can't put a hate on that. It was pretty good. Albeit disgusting with Alice popping that nail off. I still have it in my head. I can't get over it. Legends is always on crack, so it's always a joy for me. The Flash is just and I'm like, Supergirl has its moments, but overall it's obvious it's the last season. I think I am going to be excited to see Kelly as Guardian though, so I am looking forward to that. Of course, Black Lightning was on point because every week Black Lightning is on point. I mean, it's just what it is. They are increasingly getting better. You would think with Supergirl, they'd be pulling out every stop, but they are not. I mean, we spent so much time with her trapped in the Phantom Zone since this is the last season, we should have just had an episode or two. All of this could have been in an episode or two and then actually dealt with something else. Because when Kelly becomes Guardian, how many episodes is that going to be? You know, it's kind of sad to finally get her to come into this role and then the series is ending unless you plan on doing something with this character in another capacity. Yeah, it's a thing, but I don't know. It's just, I feel like there's a lot more they could be doing. I did like the trailer for next week when the father, every time I see him, I keep thinking of Max from Roswell. I can't help it. But when he keeps lifting up, when he's lifting up I think it's the copy machine. I'm like, oh hell. That to me looks funny. But I mean, you're already introducing Nixley into the juice of the matter. And I don't understand why. No one wants to drink that. I'm done with that. She had her time in the Phantom Zone. I don't care what she does in National City. I wonder if we're ever going to have Kat back. Are they ever going to have her actress come back just to say goodbye? That would be cool. I need more Lena and Kara's sexy eyes. I'm kind of scared that they're going to end it with not any interaction with them hardly at all, which would be stupid. Just give the fans what they want. The series is ending. And I don't know. Like I said, it's just, there's too much. Like, I don't know how they're going to end it. I don't know if Kara is going to choose to go back with her father to stay with her mother on our Kryptonian planet, our new Kryptonia or Krypton. That's what I'm calling it. New Krypton. I don't know. I don't know. There's just a lot of variables. I mean, what's probably going to end up happening is Martian will stick around for a while, and Alex and Kelly will be the new heroes of National City, and Brainy and Nia will go to the future, because there's really nothing holding Nia there. She didn't have any family, so she can go to the future with Brainy, and that will be that. But I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, y'all. Could be wrong. Let's see. Okay. Nothing inspires Maria's contempt vibes like the Flash. Oh, there are other things, but yeah, the Flash right now. No. You were lucky a third, honey. I would have gotten 6 syllables out if I take that kind of smack to my folks can't do it. I mean, hell, I think there are times now, I'm in my 40s, I feel like my mother's going to pop up from the grave and smack the hell out of me. I could not use profanity around my mother. You didn't do that. And sometimes when I drop F-bombs, I'm always thinking, Mom, oh. So if you ever see like a creepy hand come out of nowhere, you know what's happening. You already know. Let's see, I think that one. They are truly dragging the Phantom Zone plotline. It just took too long. It took too damn long. And you could tell it took long. There was a lot of walking in the Phantom Zone. Like, nobody needs to do that. We're thinking about writing a crossover, Young Justice League, dark, centering around characters from our childhood cartoon and movies like Coral and Dipper and Mabel Pines and Timmy Turner. I like Timmy Turner. Put Danny Phantom in there too, and I'll read it. I love Danny Phantom. Alice, Kate, and Mary's father get worst father in the Arrowverse Awards. I agree. I absolutely agree. He is one of the worst ones. But that's why there's no paragons of love or Care Bears in Gotham City. Norman, Babcock, and Billy and Mandy. Danny Phantom. Yeah, Jake Long, Juniper Lee I think that'd be cool. I would be down with that. I thought Clark and Kara really aren't the last children of Krypton. That's why they don't do that. They don't actually. I don't even think Supergirl still says that. I'm the last person from my planet, except for my cousins and all of that planet, all the people that are on that planet that are originally Kryptonian. I want my dad from the Phantom Zone. So essentially, no one died on Krypton. Everyone was evacuated. Only the elders died. And they're all living their best lives on this planet. And we have 2 powerful Kryptonians on Earth. And probably other places. We don't know. We don't know. Yeah, it's like I said, Arrowverse is always going to be its own thing. And you're always going to scratch your head. I'm not saying you have to be comic book accurate. I'm not ever going to say that. You don't even have to read a damn comic. You just have to make sense in the plot. And that is another problem that I have with what's happening with the Arrowverse. Like, some of it's just stupid. And I'm like the Flash tonight, honestly, we didn't need any of this. Like anything that happened in this episode, especially where Barry's concerned, it took too much time. It's just like the Phantom Zone. It's like none of this needed to be dragged out. They all should have just had a smackdown argument with Barry, and everybody just tells Barry what he needs to hear. You're stupid. Stop. Slow down. You do not need to make decisions. Slow thinking man. Like, just consequences is there. That's a word I need you to look up in the dictionary. I know you don't want to, Barry. I know you focused on science in school. You wanted to be CSI. I get it. But I need you to also look up terms that are applicable to your life. And one of them is consequences. When you do things, there are consequences. When you think slowly, they have consequences. When you make big actions that can potentially harm lots of people, they could die. And it is a consequence of you being a slow thinker. If you cannot think quickly, don't think at all. Just don't. Don't. Just like when people are like, I can't believe Iris was like leading Team Flash. I get it. Again, I get she's not supposed to be the leader and she's not good at science, but at least she puts thoughts together quickly. I mean, honestly, I don't understand. And they like when people are always like, well, why is Iris telling Barry all of this science and stuff, to try and help, and save the day? Like the episode where he kept running because if he stopped, this bomb would explode. But she figured out that he could throw the lightning. And I'm like, because he thinks slowly. She's not telling him something he doesn't know. She's telling him something that it's going to take him 2.5 hours to figure out. So yeah, guys, you need to stop hating on Iris. You need to start thinking about Barry. I'm just being real. Forget this West Allen Snowberry shit. Think about Barry Allen and start realizing the real problem of the Arrowverse. Barry and Lynn. They're the issues of the Arrowverse. That's funny. I need to write that down. But yeah. Yeah. Oh, yes. Don't forget to like the video, guys, because that's how people know we're here and valid. I think. I hope. Maybe. I mean, look what they did with the World Killers. They were so human. To be fair, they did that in Smallville because we both know that Doomsday was not meant to be the guy from the model from the Star Wars video game. But it is what it is. What do you think they're going to do with 2 Lex Luthors? Make one of them really badass on Superman and Lois because that's where all the money is, and make John Cryer go away because he's a comical Lex Luthor. In words of Kenzie from Lost Girl, Mother May kill the freeloader looking at Jacob Kane. I love her. I love Kenzie. I was upset on Lost Girl when she was gone for all those seasons, so I was glad they brought her back in the final season, but I love that show. I'm putting that back up there, guys. Don't forget. All right. I think I've answered every question. So, you know what's awesome? If I end this stream right now, guys, this is under 2 hours and we have gone through 4 shows. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. So I think I am going to do that. I think I am going to end the stream right here. And if there are any more questions, concerns, comments, any of that stuff about anything in the Arrowverse, it could be even what we already talked about in Batwoman, because I already did that review separately. Make sure to put it down below. If you have not, thank you for being in here, especially if you have not seen all of the Arrowverse shows. But if you have not seen them all and you want to talk about it further, again, post the comments below because, I will answer you. Even if it's about the Flash, I will definitely do that. But yeah, I'm going to let you guys get back to sleep because I know it's Tuesday and probably everybody's going to sleep now. Or if you're getting up, definitely have a good day. Stay safe and hydrate because it's getting hot. At least it is where it is. It's pretty damn hot here. But I love you guys. So we will have, of course, we're going to have our Charm Friday stream. We are also going to have our Thursday Kung Fu stream. And I'm working very hard to get 2 videos out tomorrow and potentially on Saturday. I'm aiming for Saturday, so be on the lookout. But yeah, have a good night, guys.